The stepmother
Lily,
hid
when
the
you're done
truth for
outside,
years.
clean the kitchen.
The old
I still have
farmhouse stood at
homework
the
to
edge of a
finish.
quiet
The
town,
house comes
surrounded
first.
by tall oak trees and fields that
Hi,
stretched to the
sweetheart.
horizon.
How was your day?
To everyone who passed by, it looked like the perfect home. But behind its white wooden walls, one secret had quietly shaped the lives of an entire family for years. 14-year-old Lily had grown up believing that she was an unwanted child. Ever since her father, Michael, married his second wife, Grace, life had become lonely. Grace often reminded Lily that she should be grateful to have a roof over her head. "You should stop asking so many questions," Grace would say. "Your father has enough to worry about." Lily loved her father, but Michael worked long hours running his construction business. He left before sunrise and often returned after dark, trusting that Grace would care for the family while he was away. Whenever Lily tried to tell him how unhappy she felt, Grace always found a way to interrupt. "Teenagers go through difficult phases," Grace would explain with a gentle smile. "She'll be fine." Michael wanted to believe
okay,
everything
Dad.
was okay.
She's
He
been
thought
such a big
time would
help
help his
today.
daughter
I'm
adjust.
proud of you, Lily.
Years passed. Lily stopped sharing her feelings. She focused on school, spent time at the local library, and dreamed of earning a college scholarship so she could build a different future. One afternoon, while cleaning the attic, Lily found an old wooden box covered in dust. Inside were baby photographs, birthday cards, and several unopened envelopes with her name written neatly across the front. She stared in confusion. Every envelope had been mailed years earlier. None had ever been opened. As she reached for the first letter, Grace suddenly appeared at the attic door. "What are you doing up here?" Grace asked sharply. "I found these," Lily replied. Grace quickly took the letters from her hands. "They're old junk. I'll throw them away." "But they're addressed to me." "They don't matter anymore." Grace walked away before Lily could ask another question. That night, Lily couldn't stop thinking about the letters. Who had written
Dad,
them? Why
can I
had they
ask you
never
something?
reached her?
Of course.
The next morning,
It's just
she
that I've been
returned to the
thinking
attic
about-
while Grace was shopping. The wooden box was gone. Someone had hidden it. Lily quietly searched every corner until she found it tucked behind several old suitcases. She opened the first envelope. Inside was a birthday letter. It wasn't from her father. It was from her grandmother. "My dear Lily," the letter began, "I hope one day you receive these letters and know that I have never stopped loving you." Lily's hands trembled. She had been told her grandmother had chosen not to be part of her life. The second letter told a different story. Her grandmother had written every birthday, every Christmas, every important moment. None of the letters had ever reached Lily. Tears filled her eyes. For years, someone had kept the truth from her. That evening, Lily visited her elderly neighbor, Mrs. Carter, who had known the family for decades. After listening quietly, Mrs. Carter sighed. "I hoped this day would come." "What do you mean?" Lily asked. Mrs. Carter looked toward the old farmhouse. "Your grandmother came here many times after your father remarried. She brought gifts and letters." "Then why didn't I ever see her?" Mrs. Carter hesitated. "Grace always met her at the front gate." Lily's heart raced. "She told your grandmother that you didn't want to see her anymore." Lily felt as though the ground had disappeared beneath her feet. Everything she believed about her family suddenly seemed uncertain. Instead of confronting Grace immediately, Lily decided to learn the full truth. She gathered every letter she could find and carefully organized them by date. Each one told the same story. Her grandmother had never abandoned her. She had simply been kept away. A few days later, Michael came home earlier than usual. Lily placed the stack of letters on the dining table. "Dad," she said quietly, "I need you to read these." Michael looked confused. Where did these come from? The attic. As he opened the first letter, his expression slowly changed. He read another, then another. His hands began to shake. "I never knew these existed," he whispered. Before Lily could answer, Grace entered the room. Her face immediately lost its color. Michael looked at her. "Can you explain this?" Grace tried to remain calm. "They're old letters. They aren't important." "They're years of my daughter's life," Michael replied. Grace lowered her eyes. "I thought it was better this way." For who? Michael asked. Grace remained silent. Michael realized that while he had been working to provide for his family, he had failed to notice the growing distance between the people he loved. He turned to Lily. I'm sorry. You deserved every one of these letters. Within days, Michael contacted Lily's grandmother. The reunion was emotional. Neither of them could stop crying as they embraced for the first time in years. I never stopped writing, her grandmother whispered. I never stopped hoping. Lily smiled through her tears. I know now. Healing did not happen overnight. Trust had to be rebuilt one conversation at a time. Michael became more present in his daughter's life, making time to listen instead of assuming everything was fine. Lily discovered that honesty can uncover even the oldest secrets, while silence allows them to grow. The old farmhouse still stood beneath the oak trees, but it no longer held a hidden truth. Instead, it became a place where difficult conversations were welcomed, forgiveness was earned through actions, and family bonds grew stronger because the truth was finally allowed to be heard. Sometimes the greatest gift isn't finding a hidden letter. It's discovering that the people who loved you never stopped trying to reach you, even when someone else stood in the way. And from that day forward, Lily never let another important message go unread. The hidden letters. A week passed after Lily tried to ask her father about the questions that had been filling her mind. Nothing had changed. Michael still left home before sunrise, and Grace still made sure Lily stayed busy with chores from morning until evening. On Saturday morning, Grace stood at the bottom of the staircase with a feather duster in her hand. Grace, the attic hasn't been cleaned in months. I want every box dusted before lunch. Lily, the attic. It's full of old things. Grace, exactly. That's why it needs to be cleaned. Lily nodded quietly. Lily, I'll take care of it. She climbed the narrow wooden stairs. Every step creaked beneath her feet. The attic smelled of old wood and forgotten memories. Thin beams of sunlight slipped through the small window, lighting the dust floating through the air. Old furniture, broken picture frames, and cardboard boxes filled every corner. Lily picked up a cloth and began wiping away years of dust. As she moved a stack of old blankets, something caught her eye. A small wooden chest sat hidden behind two large storage boxes. It was old, with brass corners and a faded floral design carved into the lid. Lily, I've never seen this before. She knelt beside it. The lock wasn't closed. Carefully, she lifted the lid. Inside were old baby photographs. She picked one up. It showed a smiling woman holding a baby wrapped in a pink blanket. The woman looked strangely familiar. Lily, who are you? Beneath the photographs were birthday cards tied together with a blue ribbon. Every card had one name written across the front. To Lily. Her heart skipped. She untied the ribbon. The oldest card was dated 13 years ago. The newest one was only a few months old. Lily, someone kept sending these. She reached for one of the unopened envelopes. Before she could read it, a floorboard creaked behind her. She quickly turned. Grace stood at the attic door. Her smile disappeared the moment she saw the open chest. Grace, what are you doing? Lily slowly stood. Lily, I found this box. Grace walked over quickly. Grace, you weren't supposed to open it. Lily, these letters have my name on them. Grace took the stack from Lily's hands. They're old papers. But someone wrote them to me. They don't matter anymore. Lily frowned. Who sent them? Grace avoided her eyes. Just forget about them. She closed the lid, picked up the wooden chest, and carried it toward the stairs. Lily watched silently. Something wasn't right. That evening, during dinner, Lily couldn't stop thinking about the letters. Michael noticed her quiet expression. Michael, everything okay? Before Lily could answer. Grace, she's just tired from cleaning all day. Michael nodded. Michael, you worked hard today. Thank you. Lily forced a smile. Later that night, she lay awake staring at the ceiling. Why would someone hide letters addressed to her? Who had written them? Why had Grace looked so frightened? The questions refused to leave her mind. The next morning, Grace left for the grocery store. Lily watched her car disappear down the dirt road. She waited another 10 minutes. Then she quietly climbed back to the attic. The wooden chest was gone. She searched every corner. Nothing. She looked behind old furniture. Nothing. She checked beneath dusty blankets. Still nothing. Just as she was about to give up, she noticed fresh footprints in the dust leading toward the far wall. There, behind several old suitcases, was the wooden chest. Grace hadn't thrown it away. She had hidden it. Lily carefully pulled it out. This time, she opened the first envelope. Inside was a neatly folded letter. The handwriting was elegant. She slowly unfolded the paper. My dearest Lily, if you're reading this, then somehow this letter finally found you. Happy birthday, my sweet girl. I hope you're growing into the kind and brave young woman I've always imagined. Please remember one thing. I have never stopped loving you. No matter what anyone tells you, you have always been in my heart. Love always. Grandma. Lily's hands trembled. A tear rolled down her cheek. She had always believed her grandmother wanted nothing to do with her. That was what Grace had told her since she was little. But this letter told a completely different story. She opened another envelope. Then another. Every birthday. Every Christmas. Every year. The same message. The same love. The same hope that one day Lily would read the letters. Lily whispered through her tears. Lily, she never forgot me. She looked toward the attic door. For years, someone had made sure these letters stayed hidden. Someone had wanted her to believe a lie. She carefully gathered every envelope and placed them back inside the chest. She wasn't ready to tell Grace what she had discovered. Not yet. First, she needed to know the whole truth. As she closed the lid, one final envelope slipped onto the floor. Unlike the others, it wasn't sealed. On the front were 4 handwritten words. Open only when ready. Lily stared at the envelope, her heart racing. She slowly reached for it. Then she heard the front door downstairs open. Grace was home. Lily quickly hid the envelope inside her sweater. She closed the chest, brushed the dust from her hands, and quietly stepped away from the attic window. For the first time in years, Lily knew one thing for certain. Someone had been hiding the truth. And she was determined to uncover every piece of it.